All right, what's up? Welcome back. You can see I got a haircut. Got to get rid of the long hair because it's time for business. So I needed to chop it off. I think where we left off last time was we needed to start creating the email accounts, do all the records, and start warming them up. So essentially, what that looks like is this. I have a list of email addresses here, probably going to be blurred out for now. But essentially, each one of these emails needed to get set up the proper way so that they're all approved to send emails. Then I started warming them up using SmartLead, and for some reason it says my subscription plan has ended, but it's still allowing me to do these warm ups, which is amazing. So once the warm ups are done, then we'll start going into each campaign and setting up the campaigns. But the warm up will take probably 2 to 3 weeks, right? And you can see we're ramping up slowly here. So on the 26th, it sent out 1. On the 27th, it sent out 10, 15, and today it sent out 17. It's skipping the March 1st and March 2nd because it's weekends and we don't want to send emails on weekends. We want to mimic the sending patterns that we're going to do once the actual campaign launches. And these are all options that are within SmartLead, which is really cool. So I suggest you check them out if you're trying to do something similar for your business or trying to learn cold email marketing. They have great documentation. They have great videos. So go check them out. So while this is all warming up, the next thing we need to do is start tailoring our lists together. And while we're building our lists, I'm going to try and get something of a landing page together. So the idea here, I think, is nice. This is over here. So okay, so just going down here, I guess. Next thing to do is build lists. And as we're building lists, this at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating a landing page. And I think the landing page is going to be something like this. It's going to say, hey, first name. And then it's going to be like, a quick intro. I'm Will, reaching out to you for XYZ. And then I'm going to have a video introduction, followed by portfolio. Here's our portfolio. I think that's the most direct way. And I think the ask in the email is just going to be like, hey, do you mind if I sent you some of our past work for you to check out? Something like that. It's a very low commitment ask. Let's just see what the response is on it. For what we're doing, it's not that easy to create an offer just because what we're trying to go for is for higher ticket items, right? And I think higher ticket projects. And I think if we lead with this small ask of, can I send you some of our past work for you to check out? And they say yes, then we can send them a follow-up email with this personalized landing page, including our portfolio and possibly a contact form for them to fill out to, come back to us for any projects or whatever. But then if that happens, then they'll be put onto a list of, accepted replies. And with this, then we can start running ads, right? Run ads, retargeting, or send them more emails of successful projects. So basically, I'm taking this cold email marketing campaign and I'm trying to turn this into like regular email marketing campaign, email marketing, which will hopefully then lead to leads. Something along those lines. But before that, I think I'm just kind of jumping ahead here. But as we build these lists, because building the lists will kind of be tedious, and I think I'll probably do like a list a day. So maybe we'll get to 10 lists or 14 lists by the end, and we're going to segment them out by company or industry or something like that. And we'll continue to build lists. Some lists will be shorter than others, so maybe I can bang out 2 in a day. But in the past, I think a good place to start would be to understand in the past. Oops, let me get this moved here so you can kind of see it. But this is going to be later anyway. So let's move it over here. Okay, build lists. So essentially, in the past, what I've done is I have this list of real estate companies, for instance. Let me just bring that up. So I have this whole list of real estate companies. Has about 7,000 rows, right? It's a ton of real estate agents, all in New York City. First name, last name, phone number, title, email address, website linked, and their socials as well. I had somebody building this list at like $5 an hour from Philippines. And yeah, it was good. The only thing is I couldn't measure their efficacy, right? And took, that kind of took, I think, 100 hours or something like that. It took them a while. Which again, like it's okay. Like I wouldn't mind paying that for this again. But the idea here is for us to learn AI. Learn some form of AI. I'm laughing while I'm writing this because I'm going to explain how, like, my methodology about going through this right now, and it's the furthest thing from AI. But the idea is to go through the motions, I think, and eventually we'll take time to learn some more advanced things for us to do. But anyway, this is a learning experience. Let's just write that. This is a learning experience. Okay. So basically, I want to integrate AI into our workflows. I want to eventually create AI agents to do all this stuff for us. That way we don't need to depend on this, and there's no like time limitation. I had to wait over a month for this to happen. I kind of want it instantaneously. So that was the old way, and you could see we have this whole big giant list here. But I've been researching some ways to kind of scrape websites here, and this seems to be a really popular one, Crawl for AI, and I think it has some good documentation here. The only problem is I don't know Python, I don't know coding, and if I were to sit through this video and kind of go through this step by step, I'm sure that I could get it to work, but the problem is I don't have that kind of time right now. And with the projects going on right now, with us trying to deploy this as quickly as possible, this just isn't a feasible strategy. And also there is a limitation to this, where if we can encounter websites that are JavaScript heavy, meaning they're not static HTML sites, I think this can kind of muddle the data and maybe not give clean data back. And that's like the number one thing that we want to do, is get clean data here. And so I was looking around doing research, and I found this Chrome extension, which is just called Magical, getmagical.com. And it's a Chrome extension that you can get. And you can look it up by yourself or watch videos. But essentially what you can do is go onto a page, tag labels. Let me just show you if I can. If I go to Sirhan, right? If I go Sirhan, I think I have this thing activated here. So if I go to Sirhan, I go to find an agent. And I'm using Sirhan because I watched Owning Manhattan on Netflix, and I really liked it. So we're going to use Sirhan as an example. I'm trying to currently tackle Douglas Elliman, but they have a ton more agents here. So yeah, so I'll show you what this kind of looks like. So if I go to Ryan Sirhan's page here and I click Magical, basically I'm able to like just tag labels, and I'm thinking they're using divs or CSS or the HTML to kind of break this out, right? And if I tag this, and select labels for it, like this is the full name, this is the job title, this is the number, email address, website, description. I have a thing for social links, but not working. So description. I can then open another tab, right? Let's go over here back, and then I can hit Adel. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I could do this, and it'll highlight the same fields for me. And then after that, what you can do is you can then extract all of this into a Google Sheets, which took me about 5 seconds, like 5 minutes, right? I just had to open 300 tabs, but that's just clicking and open 300 tabs, and I get all this information here pretty much instantaneously, and it took me like 10 minutes, to be honest. So so this is a pretty good solution for me. The only time-taking, tedious thing is obviously going through and clicking all the individual links. Now, Douglas Elliman has like, I think on the master sheet here, I think it was like 1,300 or something like that. So I just got to click 1,300 times, and it's going to take me 20 minutes, but then I'll be done with Douglas Elliman. Then we're going to go to the next company, and I think that's how I'm going to build a list for now. I would love to learn how to do this in Python and get this automated and have like an AI extract all this data and make it pretty for me. But for now, I think this is what we're gonna do until we can get to that point. And I do want to get to that point eventually. But besides that, I've been using Perplexity. I think I mentioned in the last video, but I've been using Perplexity to do the high-level market research. So I've been learning how to do prompts a little bit better, giving them a role, giving them like an example of the output, like how you want the output exactly, and then their exact goal. There's even context that you can add in there. So there's like a structure, like prompt structure. I forgot what it was called. Yes, the directive examples, role, output formatting, additional information. So basically, there's a structure of what makes a good prompt, and I'm trying to incorporate that a little bit more every time I'm using AI or Perplexity or Claude, for instance. So I said, you're a market research assistant analyzing. Let me see if I can zoom in here. You are a market research assistant analyzing the top real estate companies in New York City. You need to create a report of all real estate companies in New York City, etc. And they gave me a table of top real estate companies in New York City based on the search results. And I said, they gave me like 5, right? And Sirhan's not included in one of these. So I wanted all of them. I need a list of all the real estate companies that operate in NYC. This is a good start, but make sure you research and include all the relevant companies in NYC. I'll put that in a table format. I got this list in a table format now, which includes Sirhan in here. So I'm a little bit more comfortable thinking that these are probably like a good sample size of real estate agencies that we can go for. I'm going to go through each website again and then do the same method over and over again and just basically build up a giant list of all real estate agents in New York City. We're going to do this again with interior designers or other verticals, and we're just going to have a giant massive list that we can run through with our cold email outreach. And this is going to obviously take some time. I'm going to pour myself a glass of bourbon and just go through it one of these nights. And again, it shouldn't take too long. It's just really just opening a bunch of tabs. So again, if I have this for Douglas Elliman set already, which I'm working on right now, right? If I have the field set, I'll show you once again. If I have these fields set, which is name, description, email, and phone, which is really all I need. The reason I'm taking the description, once again, just big brain thinking about it. If I wanted to personalize the outbound a little bit, right? I can run this through ChatGPT or Claude, and I could say, find something interesting about her life, her description that I can relate to. Right. So if she was saying that she first came to New York in 1997, I could say, in 1997 I was doing this or that, and And I could also say, it's very impressive that you've sold apartments at 10 Sullivan, the Onyx, Chelsea, Mayfair Towers. All this is going to be automated using ChatGPT. That's why I'm pulling the descriptions as well. So if you didn't notice for Sirhan one, I don't know where it went. Oh yeah. So if you didn't realize for the Sirhan one, I also did the same thing. I also got the description. I'm just bringing the description because, you never know. But there's also, again, this is what I mean about clean data. Some of them don't have descriptions, and some of them have like bio coming soon. So what happens is you start running this through ChatGPT without actually scrubbing the data. They're going to come back with like, oh, it's very interesting that your biography is coming soon, right? Like, so something that I may or may not do, it's another step. It's another step of complexity, and there's another step there of coming across disingenuous, because right, like people are going to catch on that it's AI generated, and I don't want that. I'd rather not than do that. So it might be very direct, but I'm pulling it anyway, just in case. Just in case. Maybe on the follow up, then we can go back and say, oh, it was great that you sold these apartments here, and I think that's very impressive. By the way, here's our portfolio, and I look forward to working with you if there's an opportunity in the future or something like that. And then we're going to bring those leads again into like Klaviyo or like a email marketing campaign manager, and just send them blasts whenever we have any updates on projects that we've done. Because right, that's the whole name of the game. We want to stay on top of mind, and they're not always checking our Instagram or checking our website or this and that. The inbox is the greatest marketing channel there is that a lot of people don't tap into, right? Like Jennifer here, I don't know how often she's on Instagram, and I would imagine that for people who are busy, that time isn't much, but they get a notification every time you get an email, right? And we're gonna try to exploit that. We're gonna try to take advantage of that and make sure that we're trying to market that way. So build lists. Again, while we're warming up, this is like a 3-week warm up for email accounts. In that time, we're going to build lists using Magical for now, until I figure out how to use Crawl for AI, because that needs Python, some like headless environment. So we bypass the, there's like rules for certain websites where they don't want you to scrape it. Like most websites don't. So they're going to time you out after a while. If they see constant requests, like, kind of like very, very precisely timed requests over and over and over again, they're just going to block your IP. So you need like a headless environment where maybe you have proxies so that you can proxy different IP addresses. If one gets banned, you can go to a different IP and do all that. So from my understanding, this sounds amazing. Like if we could figure this out and really get good at something like that, this is like an invaluable skill to have. But for now, for the whole sake of this experiment, I think it's just going to take a little bit too much time. So, we're gonna work on that. But for now, we're gonna use Magical, and I don't think it's gonna take too long. And and besides that, I basically just want to do a real quick comparison. This real estate agents list was created sometime last year. Claude 3.7 Sonnet is super crazy. It's like really, really, really good. So I've just thrown both of them in there. The one that we just pulled from Magical and the one that we had, the master list, and asking them to compare it. They're saying that there's 33 agents from the Sirhan file were not found in the older file, and they're just giving some examples. And it might be because these reasons, right? It could be newly hired agents. It could be a formatting difference, although they normalize the names for comparison. And some agents like the Sirhan file might not be real estate agents, but other staff members, which it's most likely because they're newer agents that were just not there last year. But how Claude can kind of distinguish that just from these two files and general examples is really, really cool. So yeah, 3.7 Sonnet is amazing. So hopefully by the next time I make a video, I'll have a bunch of these lists done. I'll have maybe a better way to do it than Magical. Do some more research on that. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much where we're at. We have to just create these, scrape these lists for now and clean the data, which is a whole different step. But maybe I'm assuming we can clean the data using 3.7 Sonnet because it can analyze the CSV files, like the example that I was giving before, where we have these bio coming soon, or these. We could basically just tell Claude to break those out, and filter them out basically, and then create a new CSV. Even this full name, for instance, if I wanted to just break out their first name from the last name, I'm pretty sure Claude can do that. Return a revised CSV just with the names broken out. So, all of this in the past would have had to been done manually with a VA, which we've done multiple times in the past. But now with Claude, all that it can be automated, and it's just going to save so much time, and it's going to be instantaneous. So that's kind of the extent of where I'm using AI right now. I think a little bit more of the advanced features here is going to have to wait until I figure things out a little bit more, but hopefully we'll get there. If you watched this far, again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you soon with hopefully a nice update.